Hi, in this video, I want to remember many years ago, 10 years ago actually, that The Force Awakens, all the sort of hype for the new movie and all the new toys that are coming out, we had quite a lot. And I mean, since then, we've never had so much stuff come out. So, I mean, there's been quite a lot of videos of late saying, that The Force Awakens been, reevaluated, is still a major disappointment and hasn't really grown on people like Phantom Menace did. So, but still, at the time, we were pretty hyped for all these figures and toys and stuff like that, like this X-Wing. I only just recently unboxed this, apart from the lasers, which are always bent on this vehicle. It's not too bad. The TIE Fighter as well and all that sort of stuff. I'm going to show you a lot of figures. Action Figure Grade has sent me a lot of these Force Awakens figures, so I'm going to show you those as well, as we sort of take a journey back in time to a more civilized time era 10 years ago. So, 4 of the figures I actually got that were I think I was the first to have them on YouTube. They were the Ghost Towers, the PZ-40, the General Hux, and I think the Gravian Enforcer. So I was the first to get those up on YouTube. I should have unboxed them then, but I never did. Anyway, it's time to start waffling, as I often do, and start looking at the different toys. Not just Hasbro, it'll be a few other things as well. Anyway. So these were kindly sent to me by Action Figure Grader. I've got quite a few of these. These are the US carded versions, and they're in very good condition. You put them in these cases as well. So you've got Captain Phasma and the First Order Stormtrooper. You could get both of these characters came in the Black Series as well, and Jack's Pacific, and I guess Disney iterations as well. But at the time, these were fun to collect. I mean, especially the new Stormtrooper design. It looked kind of like if you took the 70s Stormtrooper and sort of did how training shoes evolved with like in the 2015s. If you compare trainers to the mid 70s to then, this is what that Stormtrooper sort of evoked. Really, it's sort of really a lot more plumper and a lot more sort of curved in a way, more modern looking, I guess. So you could say knight up, and Captain Phasma looked like a sort of knight of old, really. Huge, 6'4", whatever, however tall the actress is. Yeah, this is all before we saw what happened in the movie and how sort of neutered the Phasma certainly was. So back of the cards had 3 other characters you could get, the description of the sort of gimmick piece you got with it, the sort of combiner builder piece, which was, I'm sure you've all got these bits stashed away in toy boxes and all that sort of stuff. So but this is the US card. The European card's pretty similar though. I'll do comparison later. Also dropped other characters onto these cards: the Luke Skywalker in Bespin outfit and the Darth Vader. I think the Luke, they were originally going to show how what's her name got the lightsaber. What is her name? I can't even remember her name now. This shows you what impact this film has. The sort of short character wears looks like a totally woke character. I can't remember her name though. What's her name? It will come back to me. I've got the figure. I'll dig it out in a minute. Just to show how she got Luke's lightsaber and passed it on to Rey. Yeah, so bog standard Luke, 5 POA, maybe 6. Comes with a combiner piece. Again, US card and the Darth Vader. Cool figure there. Comes with a sort of what looks like a probe droid, but it's a mini probe droid, but it's actually a combiner piece. There's the picture on the card. So you could get those. Early issue. This is one I sort of always found a bit hard to find. I mean, in the UK, I mean, I don't know about America, but definitely in the UK, the Resistance Trooper, he was like the rebel soldier equivalent. He was always tough to find. He appeared once and then, you know, you didn't see him again, you know, because a lot of these figures became peg warmers, but the Resistance Trooper wasn't one of them, really. So he's a little harder to find. There's two here, both sent by Action Figure Grader. And I've got one of these, I know for sure. Anyway, cool figure. And he came in the Black Series, got the Black Series as well. I mean, earlier this year I picked up the prototype, you know, unpainted sample of the Black Series Resistance Trooper. Pretty cool figure though. So all in all, a good haul here. Got these two yesterday, General Hux and the Gravian Enforcer, 3 3/4 inch. And I got this one today, PZ4CO, which is a wicked looking robot, and Ghost Tours, this one here. Okay, so 2 great figures there and 2 great figures there. Alright, cheers. Have a quick look around where we are, because I'm outside in sort of Putney Barnes area. So, got the planes flying to Heathrow there. It was bright a few hours ago, and now it's gotten a bit cloudy, but still a nice day. Okay, that's Lower Putney Common that way. Couple of cyclists. I won't be cycling for a while with this arm. There's a lava look at the 4 figures. Got General Hux, Gravian Enforcer, PZ4CO, really like that one, and Tours, Goss Tours, funny name. Yep. This one looks pretty cool, this blue robot, really like that one. Gravian Enforcer looks cool, as does General Hux. This one just looks really strange, that one. Okay, so these are the 4 figures. Alright, cheers! Bye. Have a look around. Just about to see a plane somewhere. There. Going to Heathrow Airport. Okay. Cheers. Here's the Kylo Ren. This is the first version of the figure, and yeah, I mean, in Sainsbury's in the UK, they did a special with this figure on a big card. It was very tough to get. I went to the Sainsbury's and it was sold out by the time I got there, and that was on the first day. Not that it was well advertised, and yeah, so then I've got another one here. This is the UK version, so it's the same, you know. I can't really see much differences between these two. So this would have been the figure I opened and reviewed back in the day, and then we stuck on the card. Yeah, so very similar, but at least you can see the differences between the European and the US card. So not too different, just more languages on the European cards. All the warnings at the bottom on the European card. I mean, I prefer the European card myself, but you know, it's like, to each their own. or whatever floats your boat. So yeah, but we got both cards in the UK, so you know. And there is the Sainsbury's version of this, which is like on a huge card, sort of. If the film had been, you know, all garnered more love over the years, then that Sainsbury's piece would have become more valuable. Now it's probably quite easy to pick up, but I mean at the time you wanted it because you'd think, oh, it's going to be worth a fortune in the future and all that sort of stuff. I think there's another Kylo Ren here, which is, I think, the same figure but just on a different card image. I don't think I had this one back in the day, so it's just got Kylo, the same figure though, I think, or maybe not. It looks like the sculpting's different, yeah, and that one looks more narrow in the midsection, and the sort of torso looks more ripped on this version as well. Different combiner piece. So this one I think came later than that one. Oh, I don't think I ever got this one though. I knew about it. I knew about the picture variation, but you know, it was very difficult at the time just to keep up with all these figures because you know you try and get all the latest waves and stuff like that. So this one came out with a PCZ4CO and Gust Tours. So the second wave, this one came out with the first wave. Yeah. The Force Awakens introduced us to the Flame Trooper. So this is the first time we saw Imperial troops with flamethrowers. First Order, but we've seen them in The Mandalorian as well with the Incinerator Trooper subsequently. It's quite a barbaric weapon, quite you know, very much of World War II era, and so you know it's quite surprising that they went to the flamethrower really when you know they've got so much more technology than you know, you know, because the flamethrower is notorious for if you get hit in the fuel pack, then you get blown up yourself, you know, so that was always a drawback. Even in World War II with those sort of weapons. I mean, the Flame Trooper design's quite nice. It's got that sort of slit. And also did a very similar design with the Snow Trooper as well, the new Snow Trooper for The Force Awakens. And then this Nien Numb's a great figure. Very cool. Yeah. So, just more or less very similar to how he looked in Return of the Jedi. Great sculpt on that. So one of the best of the new figures. Old character brought into the, you know, new movie. And again, this is a European card. So pretty cool, and you know they got the new Kylo Ren with a removable helmet, the First Order squad leader, Nien Nunb. So this is a later wave figure, but still pretty cool. Yep, and Flame Trooper, quite a cool figure. They did this in the Black Series as well. Quite a bulky figure, comes with a quite a huge backpack and the combiner piece there. So they all had the combiner pieces, you know, which people got pretty fed up with, I'm pretty sure. As well as the basic 3.75 figures, we've got a load of Black Series figures, all to promote the new movie. We've got C-3PO with the red arm. He's always keen to let you know how he got that red arm. That year I had a really bad accident and had broken my elbow, and you know still can't move it properly anymore. So you know it's 10 years later, so I can dig that red arm. Constable Zuvio was touted as a new key character like the sheriff of the town, which whatever town it was, and but his part was cut out. They did a 3.75 figure as well, but he's sort of promised so much in the movie, and then just his part was just obliterated, cut away. You've got Poe, you've got Rey, you've got all those different key characters. Loads of First Order troops like the Stormtrooper, the Snow Trooper, and the Flame Trooper there. So yeah, there's a lot of Black Series to collect. Guardian Enforcer was one I've got. Quite a lot of them actually. Yeah, plus all the other figures they did at the same time. But I mean, that Poe came in a 2-pack with that First Order Stormtrooper. Yeah, but they were fun to collect at the time. They came in the black and red boxes. So it takes you back to, and especially before you'd seen the film. I mean, even at the time you'd seen the film, it took a while to sink in that you'd just seen a rehashing of A New Hope and all that sort of stuff. You got carried away by the hype, the excitement, especially if you went and saw it at 12 o'clock midnight and the first screening. You had to go see it again and stuff like that. But yeah, those were the Black Series figures. Funko got in the game. You could get innumerable Funko Pops and these head knockers. C-3PO with the red arm. Yeah, so there was just so much to collect back then. Well, before the movie came out, during the when the movie came out, and shortly after. I mean, everyone was kind of hyped for the movie, and the stuff was, you still had Toys R Us in the UK, so you could go to Toys R Us and pick up loads of stuff. Sainsbury's, I think that, loads of different places you could pick up all the figures and stuff. Now it's more or less online in the UK, which is kind of, in a way, deadens the hobby in a way. It takes the sort of fun out of going to shops and finding stuff in the wild. Rey was being touted as the new sort of heroic character, the new Luke Skywalker, so there was just so much stuff to collect for her. This is sort of in the line of the galactic heroes, it's articulated. I think they might have come with little vehicles, these figures. 2015 date stamp Hasbro. So yeah, Rey. Something else you could have collected. I mean, if you were a fan of Rey, Finn, Poe, Han was in it. You could also get these model kits from Revell. These were the build and play ones, so they came with electronic features. They were really easy to build. This is the Falcon with the new radar dish. They would do a big one for the Hasbro line with a huge sort of gun that came out the middle. Quite bizarre, never got that. And that's the button there. The batteries are dead though, or I've taken them out. But quite easy thing to build. And you've got the Poe's X-Wing. You've got this in this colour and the sort of greyish blue colour as well. You've got the TIE Fighter as well. First Order TIE Fighter. If I take this thing out, it will work still. Oh no, batteries are dead as well. I thought the batteries would have still worked, but unfortunately it's died after 9-10 years. Funny thing with this, it came with no pilot, this model, which is a bit odd, but yeah, great model. Very easy to build, the build and play series. So yeah, by Revell, Germany. So that was one way of collecting the ships, vehicles and stuff. Okay, here's the Star Wars Force Awakens stuff I picked up so far. I never got anything on Force Friday, but I picked up this figure yesterday, and I picked up this on Friday at Toys R Us. I got this at the Entertainer, and I went to Argos and picked up the catalogue for the new Star Wars stuff. Picked up about 10 of them, because it's a collectible in itself and it don't cost much. And this figure here, and Kylo Ren 12-inch figure. It's very hard to find Kylo Ren and 6-inch or 3 3/4 inch in the UK, but I thought this figure looked pretty cool, Rey. So I picked her up yesterday. It cost £10 in the UK, quite expensive, but you know, got a bit by the Star Wars new stuff bug. So got this, the Force Awakens Kylo Ren. Nice box, figure looks pretty cool. Only limited articulation, but still. There's the back of the box and the picture of the figure. Or, well, that's not really the figure, that's just the artwork. Looks pretty cool. Be taking this one out definitely and displaying it loose. And then you've got the Force Awakens Rey, basic figure. Star Wars Episode 7 collectible. So this is the first page, you get some vouchers and stuff like that. Okay, then you get a bit of history: Phantom Menace, Clone Wars, Revenge of the Sith, New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. Who's on the light side, who's on the dark side. Then you get onto the products, so you've got all these different things you can get in the UK at Argos. Lego stuff, Micro Machine stuff, the Star Wars Mashers, Infinity, Lego bits and bobs. Then the lightsabers you can get. UK prices for this one, it's £50, so it's going to be a bit more expensive than in the USA. Chin Activate Chewbacca sounds. This is the Chewbacca interactive mask. Different costumes you can get for episode 7 for little kids. They're priced around £20, maybe a bit more. You can get Poe Dameron's suit, Finn's costume, a Stormtrooper costume, Kylo Ren's outfit, plus Yoda and Vader. Then we get onto the Lego. The X-Wing in the UK is £60, £70, sorry. The TIE Fighter Special Forces is 60 quid, which is about $100. Really expensive over here. The new Millennium Falcon, that's £130. These new figures you can build. So here's my ticket to see Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, on the 17th of the 12th, 15 at 12:01 a.m. Row seat 13. And man, I just hope I don't fall asleep. You know, I can just imagine myself falling asleep. So when I go home, when I get home first from work, I'm going to have to go to bed, wake up at 11ish, and then go out to this movie. This is like a local cinema, it's kind of small one, but you know, I need to get back to bed straight away, as you know, and so I'm only going local, you know what I'm saying. And then, so overall, I think this is one of the better of the new range of 3.75 Force Awakens figures. I think this one's really cool. Looks really good. Highly recommend this one. Looks really good. If you want a good review of this figure, go to Jedi Temple Archives and read what they write about this figure. Looks really amazing. Really nice figure. Uncut plot. I think Simon Pegg played this character. He's a big Star Wars fan and was in Star Trek, plays Scotty. Really nice. Uncut plot. The Force Awakens, 3.75 action figure. One more look at the back. Great figure, highly recommend this one. So if you can find him, this is the only one they had. It was right at the back of all the other figures. I had to dig through the whole lot. I was really glad that they had it. So I got this at the Entertainer. You could also collect from Black Series, the Titanium collection. These were little ships. That, you know, like the new Falcon with the new radar dish there. So Black Series #1. The same packaging for the 6-inch figures. European packaging there. Got Kylo Ren shuttle. This came in two variants. There was a white version and the black version. The black version is the correct version. Actually, at the time, there was two companies producing die-cast vehicles. There was the Hasbro Black Series. There was Mattel as well, doing their own line of die-cast plastic vehicles, like this First Order Snowspeeder from The Force Awakens. Generally, you find the Hasbro ones are better quality, more metal, less plastic, whereas these are a bit more sculpting, generally better. Not always though, so you have to, but yeah, it's fun. Like I said at the time, it was just, you were hungry for anything new Star Wars, after since like 2005, it was now 2015, so 10 years we'd had to wait for a new film to come out, so we were all hungry for new stuff. We wanted to see the new designs, the new Stormtrooper outfits, the new vehicles, the new this and that. You're all hungry for that, and so at the time, collecting the toys sort of satiated that hunger in a way, because you were curious to see what everything looked like. I mean, you could only see a little bit in the trailers. I mean, I guess if you went on websites and stuff like that and found, and maybe if you read the book as well. But I didn't want to read the book. I didn't want to spoil my surprise and excitement. Here's some more of the little titanium ships, and has Hot Wheels versions. So this is the Black Series Race Speeder, which came eventually in the Black Series and the 3.75 line as well. Great design. Yeah, so we saw this in the trailer. It's amazing. We didn't know what Rey's journey would be yet, or how easy it would be. That it wouldn't really be a journey, because she was already sort of a Mary Sue to the nth degree, which is unfortunate. This is the Poe Dameron's X-Wing, Black Series as well. You can see with the Black Series there are more finer sculpts, a lot more delicate, but pretty cool design there. Yeah, Black Series also have more features like landing skids, opening canopy, rings that fold. And then this is the Hot Wheels version, which doesn't have folding rings. So there was two versions, one with rings closed, one with rings open, and it's a lot more sort of stocky in build. This is the Resistance X-Wing. It came on those stands. They did change the stands later down the line. These stands were a bit, apart from being able to put these on your finger. But yeah. So there was a lot of die cast, and then you can see the First Order Star Destroyer there on the... I mean, if they kept on doing this, because in America this line kept on going for a lot longer than it did in the UK, and I did a lot of reviews of these ships, both the Hot Wheels and the Black Series Titanium, but in the end, around 2018-19, supply just dried up in the UK, and I couldn't review these anymore, because I had quite a lot of views on these videos. There's a guy in America, the Points of Articulation, he does great reviews of all these die-cast ships, so you should check him out. But at the time it was fun collecting these, and when you could, because we had stores that actually sold these ships and stuff like that. I mean, the titaniums have been running for quite a long time. They've been running since 2005. Actually, mid-96, when the Galoob had the smaller die-cast Star Wars ships, it just kept on going. So there's a certain pedigree to the titanium ships, which the Mattel didn't really have. I mean, the Mattel did go on to do cars as well, Star Wars cars, and higher quality, larger scale ships as well. But yeah, so both Titaniums and Mattel did do quite a lot of the vehicles, like this First Order Star Destroyer you see at the front. This is the Hot Wheels version. Die-cast top, plastic underneath, and the smaller, that's the Black Series version, titanium. You can see the size difference. But fun to collect at the time. And then the Millennium Falcon, this is the Mattel version. So die-cast on top, plastic underneath. But great sculpt, I mean lovely detailing in the top of the ship. And they did, this has got the new radar dish. There's a version with the round radar dish as well. But this is the Force Awakens version. Quite nice. And then you've got the First Order Troop Transporter. Again, both versions did this, Black Series and Mattel. Great design, this. Yeah, really good. Sort of got that sort of World War II vibe to it, like a D-Day landing ship. Pretty cool. And you do see this at the beginning of the movie, sort of with the new stormtroopers on board, Finn. Very good. So yeah, so it was, you know, it was nice to see the new designs and all that sort of stuff, and you know, get excited for it all. Okay, this is the Hasbro 3.75 basic figure, Rey with Speeder. So it came boxed together. Yeah, I didn't buy it quite at the time. I bought it a little bit later when it was reduced, but you know, it's quite a good design, and they did it in the Black Series as well. This would be the equivalent of Luke Skywalker's Land Speeder. Got these fins at the back, move back and forward. The thing came with a gimmick as well. It was had this. You press this button here, and you could fire a missile out of the top. Came with the rifle. You know, I've reviewed this years ago. See if I can remember how to fire the missile. I think you just press this again. Hasbro knew that we'd buy anything in the Force Awakens packaging, so they put this vehicle, this Walker with a First Order Stormtrooper in it, a Sergeant maybe, and there's a variant with this with a sort of sand colour, the Jakku version. There was a 12-inch version as well. That was quite a big thing. But it was just a vehicle that, you know, very similar to the Walkers seen in Revenge of the Sith, really. So it wasn't, but because it was associated with the new movie, it must have sold fairly well before it got discounted. We also did a series of vehicles, like this First Order TIE Fighter, die-cast vehicle. They're quite big. This product may be supplied. You get these in a Disney store. They did have Millennium Falcon. I wish I'd bought that. Quite a nice model there. All the details. Pretty cool. So from the Disney store, the Disney die-cast vehicle line from a good 10 years ago. Eventually you'd get figures in the vintage collection. You got this Rey in 2018-19 when the vintage collection phase 2 came out. So you got not many figures, but a few. I mean, the latest one's been Finn, I'd say. Finn, yeah, Finn would definitely be the last from the Force Awakens. So there's not been many figures. I mean, a lot of them came out in the Black Series. This figure came out in the Black Series, maybe in 2016. And then she was repackaged on the Force Awakens Vintage Collection card. So you can find a few. A lot of these early 2.0 figures have really bad seals and come off the the card very easily, which is very unfortunate. But I mean, it's a nice image on the card. You've got Rey there looking rather, you know, before the hero's journey or heroine's journey. Anyway, there's quite a few, but not too many. That they've concentrated more on other properties, especially of late with the New Hope and all that sort of stuff. Hasbro also released these 12-inch figures. Many describe these as plastic shampoo bottles, but you know, I mean, some of them were better than others. Like these Trooper ones were probably much better than the human characters, or you know, so. And it's a line they kept on going throughout the next two movies as well, or especially The Last Jedi. TIE Fighter pilot's a great design. The First Order TIE Fighter pilot. I don't know if you can really make out the figure's face there, but it looks great. It's a sort of nice sort of updating of the classic TIE Fighter pilot with a sort of almost got a sort of, doesn't look so futuristic though. It looks almost like it was like a more like a World War One pilot with just a single nozzle, whereas the other had the two. But not bad design. Did it in the Black Series as well. Quite a cool, interesting design really. And obviously the new Stormtrooper. I prefer these Stormtroopers with a slightly wider helmet rather than what they did in The Last Jedi, where they sort of made them thinner. I prefer the wider look to them. They did Kylo Ren, they did Rey, they did quite a lot of these figures. There was a Phasma in chrome. That was a great figure as well. Here's three of the 12-inch figures. You got Rey, you got Kylo Ren, first version of Kylo Ren, and you got Captain Phasma in this sort of chromed effect. So the Phasma's a great figure. You know, these figures tend to be a bit thin, like the arms. They are essentially plastic bottles really, but you know, they're quite fun to collect at the time. So Kylo Ren looks rather sweaty, or maybe he was covered in dust. But the Phasma's a great figure. And yeah, I mean, you know, 12-inch Star Wars figures. That's a staple since 1978-79 really, you know. In the old days they came with cloth. These ones are just plastic paint, just like enlarged 3.75 figures, basic figures. Limited articulation, but quite displayable, you know. If you can't afford Hot Toys, not everyone can, you know. And then Jakks Pacific did an even larger line of figures as well. Jakks Pacific did these huge 18-inch figures for the Force Awakens, general Star Wars characters as well, classic Star Wars movies. They did the 18-inch Stormtrooper. I think they did Darth Vader that was 4 foot tall almost, or at least 3 foot, and the First Order Stormtrooper as well. So, you know, they did really huge figures. You could get these in the Entertainer in the UK. The gun fits to the leg. You can take the gun out if you want, and you want him to hold it. But yeah, not bad. Held together with loads of screws. These are Jakks Pacific figures. I've got the Darth Vader in the huge size, like not the biggest size, but maybe the 36-inch or whatever it was. I can't remember. There was a size bigger though. I wouldn't have minded getting a large Stormtrooper, even if it's the First Order. I quite like the design. And this has got the more wider helmet, which was in the Force Awakens. So that's another thing you could collect during the hype days of 2015, 2016. So this is the First Order TIE Fighter pilot. You can see he only has one tube coming out of his chest pack into a redesigned chest pack, and his costuming, sculpting, he looks thinner than the other regular TIE Fighter pilot. Comes with that blaster there, and there's his boots. Nice looking figure though. Nice update, great design. And then here's the original 70s TIE Fighter pilot. Nice figure, Black Series, both Black Series. So you can compare the two. First Order and the original. Look great. The Star Wars Force Awakens on DVD on Monday, first day of issue. And, you know, I've watched it 3 times already. This is the UK packaging. Just has no extras. One disc. But it's Star Wars. If I had a Blu-ray player, I'd definitely get the Blu-ray versions. I will eventually. Money's a bit tight at the moment, and that's the actual disc, what it looks like. I'm sure it's the same the world over. Force Awakens, trademark Region 2, Lucasfilm Limited. Nice cover art. Okay, here I've got the Kylo Ren. It's the Empire Sainsbury's limited edition. There's only 4,500 of these, and I had to get this on eBay. I did go to the store many a time, but they didn't have it. And then about a week later I found out that it was only certain stores that were selling them, and there was one store in South London I could have went to, but by then it was too late. They'd all sold out, and you know, but this is such a limited thing, and you know, all the hype of the new movie, so I thought, you know, have to go on eBay, and you have to pay double the price really. So the retail is what, $11.99, and I had to pay double that to get this. So got this titanium Black Series, the helmet 2-pack. I think this is the first set. It's got Captain Phasma and the First Order Stormtrooper. Sort of die-cast helmets. Captain Phasma, First Order Stormtrooper. It was $4.99 at Forbidden. The new Shuttle Tidarium. That looks pretty cool. Other stuff you can get. This X-Wing exclusive, £170 Web 5. That looks pretty amazing. 47 centimeters wide, 52 centimeters long. Droid Tri-Fighter, only at Argos. Rebels stuff as well. So it's not just Force Awaken stuff. Then you've got the Jax Pacific figures you can pick up. These look pretty okay. Kylo Ren, Darth Vader, these are £20. The Han, the Boba Fett. Then you've got the Black Series Titaniums. Black Series figures, you've got this 2-pack coming out in November. That's pretty cool. So if you missed the Stormtrooper, First Order Stormtrooper, you can get him in the 2-pack. Comes with Riot Shield. More Black Series figures. These I haven't seen in the UK yet. You could also get a lot of 2-figure sets. So some were from the Force Awakens. They're using the Force Awakens packaging there with the Kylo Ren head on the side. And some were from other properties. Like this 2-pack would have been from Revenge of the Sith. But if you look at the back, again, they came with those sort of gimmicky pieces. You could get Uncle's Thug, which is a good set, and you get Boba Fett with the sort of helmet pieces, vehicles, and stuff like that. So that's the back of the packaging. Again, this is European packaging, whereas you know, these would have been available on US cards as well. You've got the two basic 3.75 figures and loads of extra junk that you don't really need, but it's a way of charging us more for stuff we don't really want. But yeah, not bad. So there was quite a lot of these double packs, C3PO and R2D2. Yeah, not bad. Hasbro did some Micro Machines sets. This is a sort of transforming Stormtrooper head that reveals Jakku. But not like in the old days, you hardly get any accessories with this. You got one vehicle, one figure. Back in the old, in the mid-90s, you used to get a lot for your bang. But here you got very little. But there were those little blind bags as well. So you could rotate the first order transport as it went round. You've got a tiny little figure of Finn. I guess you could embellish it with the little blind bags you could get as well. I think that was Finn. It's actually Poe, I think. It's Poe, looks like. But, it's nice to have these little environments. If you're buying a set like this, you need more figures and ships with it, so you can sort of play without having to buy further accessories. Otherwise, it's just so sparse. It's a nice environment. Everyone likes the sort of environment there. It's quite, and there's an R2D2 set as well. I guess they've revered that little ship to make it look like it's dust covered as well. But yeah, these are the sort of Hasbro Micro Machines. But there were like blind. Let me see if I can find some more blind bag figures and stuff to add to it. I found a couple more little vehicles, another first order troop transport and a first order TIE fighter. But I've got no more figures though. This whole play set, there's just one figure. Ridiculous. So these were heavily discounted and didn't offer much play value really compared to the old Micro Machines where you could have a nice diorama with figures and ships and stuff like that. The landscape's nice, the sculpting there's nice, but it's just not enough, just one figure there. You can barely make him out. That's Jakku anyhow. There's the Micro Machines playset closed up. The First Order Stormtrooper. And there's an R2D2 version. I think that's going to be the Ice Planet. Why can't I remember the name of the Ice Planet? Why can't I remember? But, they did this back in the day in the mid-90s and they were much better than this version they did, Hasbro. They just needed more accessories, more figures, at least 3 figures and 2 vehicles. And this is the Hot Wheels First Order Speeder that was seen on the Ice Planet. Starkiller Base. Okay. Hero Mashers, as seen on TV, $10.99 each. Boba Fett there, with deluxe figure. Then you've got the 12-inch figures. I've just got this one, the Kylo Ren, for $12.99 at Toys R Us, but it's the same price at Argos. Then you've got these 2-figure pack, R2D2 and C3PO. That looks pretty cool. This looks pretty okay. And then you've got the 3 3/4 inch figures. I think at Argos you just get you can't choose the figure. I went to Pound World and they've got these Hot Wheels Star Wars ships for £1 each. So I bought 6 of them, and they've got quite a lot there. So I mean, I've been going to other stores. I've been to Poundland and all them places, but it's Pound World where they've got the ships for £1. The Star Wars Hot Wheels, not the latest ones, the ones from a couple of years ago or a year ago. So I got Ray's Speeder, that was £1. I got the Naboo Starship Royal Fighter, N1 Starfighter, thought that looked pretty cool. I got the Pose X-Wing, it's decent. I got the Y-Wing, they only had a couple of these, that is pretty great. I got the Republic Crew Attack Gunship, looks okay. I've got this what do you call it, Micro Machines Gold series. I want to open that in a while, and the one I was happiest with is this one, the Star Destroyer, First Order Star Destroyer. So I've got the titanium, so I can do a comparison with that. So here's Ray and Captain Phasma from the Galaxy Heroes 2-pack. I've cut them out so we can have a good look at the 2 figures. And I picked these up at Sainsbury's last week. They're pretty cheap. So this is Phasma. She's got a swivel head, swivel shoulders, swivel wrists, swivel hips, and the legs seem to bend together. Not a bad figure, the Phasma. Comes with this little blaster there. So it looks pretty cool. I think the Ray's not so nice. Comes with a staff which can rotate in her wrist. And the thing I don't like about the Ray is the head sculpt. It's so generic. But it's not a bad little figure. And done in this sort of kiddie style. Got swivel wrist as well. And the shoulders are ball jointed as well, that's pretty cool. TK Maxx yesterday and I picked up this 2-pack. It's Hot Wheels and it was $5.99. It's the First Order Stormtrooper car and the Captain Phasma car. I mainly picked it up for the Phasma car, it just looks so cool. And there's the artwork on the box. You got Captain Phasma there from Force Awakens and the First Order Stormtrooper. 2 cars look really nice, Stormtrooper and the Phasma. You just order it and you get whatever they have in stock. £50 for the new X-Wing. Been a lot of gripes about this X-Wing, the rubber nose and the lasers being bent. Then you got this, £30 will buy you the new Snow Speeder or the Desert Speeder fins, and then £20 for these 2. I want to get the Ray's Speeder, but they don't have it in this. Then you got the new Millennium Falcon. I don't know what this is, Micro Machines maybe. You won't be getting this, but it's priced at £120 UK, so that's quite a lot of money. About $200 US. Then the Micro Machines. Micro Machines was back around in the 90s and now they've come back. These 2 are mixed up. That's the Hot Wheels and that's the more Micro Machines, I guess. Then you've got these sort of Disney things. 15 quid for the BB-8, Chewbacca, Kylo Ren. Then you got, what are these things? More Disney sort of stuff. Walkie-talkies, remote controlled new X-Wing, Millennium Falcon, radio controlled games like Battleship but Star Wars version of that, Star Wars Pinball, Bop It, R2-D2, Monopoly Star Wars, £30 in the UK. Found the R2-D2 in the same line, the Micro Machines, and we'll have a look, see what's inside it. I think I can't find the vehicle it came with. I think it came with a First Order Speeder. I'm not too sure, I can't remember. And but the one figure, just Chewbacca, and then it's like the Ice Planet, Starkiller Base. So just like the other one. If Hasbro wanted these to be a success, they had to put more figures and more vehicles, you know. They can't just give the bare minimum and expect us to buy the blind bags, because you're not going to get any more figures as well. Chewbacca's just not enough. Anyway, that's a quick look at that. Here's some more carded figures. We got Sarko Plank. This was a great design. Look at that head. Brilliant. Blink and you're missing though. He's only got a few seconds in the movie. European card. Originally $9.95. I think that's a Disney store. Sarko Plank. You've got Karnas Janus, Kanan Jarrus from Rebels, Ezra Bridger as well. So 10 quid in the UK. That's a great design though. And then you had Elo Asti, I think his name is. Asti. There's a thing to the Beastie Boys in the... Oh yeah, Hello Nasty. Comes with banana visor, pistol, European card, 2 figures. I think I've got these loose. I'll show you these loose in a minute. Another 2-pack. So you got Uncas Thug and Jakku Scavenger. So quite good designs. This sort of put you in mind of the new Sand People. This is before the movie came out, and then the BB-8 and the Scavenger. 2 missiles, some huge piece of plastic there. But yeah, it's a cool design, that figure. The Uncle Platt was a great figure as well. So there's the speeder. I've shown you that loose. That's what I showed you earlier. But it's a good set. So I think when these came out, they were about £15 in the UK, maybe a little bit 14, 15 for 2 figures. And you are curious to see what the new characters look like. But that one definitely gives a Sand People vibe. And the little Scavenger. Just sort of, how are they going to be in the new movie? It's just like being a little child again. You're excited. You're buying anything and everything that has to do with a new movie. There's the art. That little BB-8 is quite a nice little figure. These are the Disney Elite figures. These are the die-cast figures. So Disney did quite a lot at the time as well. So this is Kylo Ren. Unfortunately rather dusty, but legs are made of metal. And the torso. What a dusty little figure. 6-inch scale, slightly taller than the Black Series. They stopped the line quite a while back, so it's quite collectible now. And some of the pieces go for a lot of money, like the C-3PO with the red arm and all that sort of stuff. But these are the Disney Elite figures. Unfortunately, this one's covered in dust, but at least I don't forget it. There's some more of the Disney Elite figures. So you've got the First Order Stormtrooper, Captain Phasma, Kylo Ren, Finn Stormtrooper, and the Flame Trooper. So quite a nice set of Disney Elite figures. Here's some of the figures I have loose. So this is the pilot I just showed you, Elo Asti. or Hello Nasty. They had these holes in the back where you plugged in the combi piece, if you felt so inclined to do that. This is Sidon. He's the space pirate captain that Finn wants to go away with. Quite a good figure. This is a 2-pack figure. This came with this guy, Quigold here. This is a brilliant figure. Nice texturing on the body. Great face sculpt. Interesting alien look to him. Peg leg. Yeah, great design, this one. Then we got another pilot. This one is Snap Rexley, I believe his name is. He's the guy from Heroes, I believe. He hasn't got a hole in the back. He's a bit of a, excuse me, I've lost my train of thought. It's a sort of the tubby pilot. I doubt if it'd fit in that X-Wing that I got. This is Sarko Plank, brilliant figure. Look at the detailing on this one. Brilliant design. Shame he had about 1 second in the movie. Great figure though. And then we got the Husk Thug. Looking very much like a werewolf. We see that in the sort of updated new, where they go to Mas Kanata's, I remember her name now, Mas Kanata's cantina. And we see the Husk Thug. And then we got a great design here, the Gravian Enforcer. And this is one of the first figures I got in hand that, you know, I subsequently found out that I was the first to have it on YouTube, but I should have unboxed it then. But a great design, this. Yeah, very nice. So that's your Gravian Enforcer. Brilliant design. So some nice figures there that were released at the time. Maybe they'll start getting some love now. I mean, the alien characters look good. I mean, humans are, you know, because they use the banana visor, that sort of is quite distracting, really. Takes away from the realism of the figures, but these two, those three as well, are really good figures. Some more characters here. We got R2-D2 and C-3PO with the red arm. These two came in a 2-pack. Quite a good figure. This was updated in the Last Jedi, and the R2 was a much better figure as well in the 2-pack for the Last Jedi. Cool. Finn, first version, pistol, rifle, really. Not a bad face sculpt, nice texturing on the jumper. And this has just been released in the Vintage Collection. That outfit of Finn. And then there's Rey here. How many Reys can you have? That's quite a good face sculpt when you think about it. Basic figure, comes with backpack, the long staff, but not bad. And then the 3.75 basic flame trooper. Comes with, like the Black Series, a massive backpack. Like I've thought earlier, I don't think they would have really used flamethrowers in the future. I mean, obviously they're a devastating weapon, but you know, one hit in the tank and this flame trooper is toast, really, even though he's wearing a lot of armor there. Okay, another look at Captain Phasma, 3 3/4 inch. Great figure. Trying to capture it in the light. Nice figure. Episode 7. Seen a couple more of these in Toys R Us in Whiteley's. Nice figure. So I think she's starting to turn up more in the UK. Really nice. Look at the design of the helmet. Has a sort of Jango Fett vibe to her. Jango Fett had silver armour, so does she. Alright. Cheers. Bye. Okay, here I've got the Sunday Times bestseller, The Force Awakens, Alan Dean Foster. This is the paperback version, only $3.99 at Sainsbury's. RP is $8.99. I've got the hardback, which I read before the DVD came out. This one's way better because I've got it for a 10 out Tesco's, and it's got, it's just hardback and it's got photographs in the middle. I know there's a version in America which has like double the amount of photographs, and then you've got this version which is the paperback UK version, Arrow Books, and yeah, really nice. No pictures in this version. Easy to read. Only thing is, like, the last 50-60 pages seem a bit rushed, and it's just more or less becomes a list. And then I've got the DVD as well. I'd love to get the Blu-ray. Okay, so really nice. Star Wars, The Force Awakens, DVD, paperback and hardback. Got to get these things. Alright, so cheers, bye. It's pretty cool, this figure, actually. So, Resistance Fighter, Black Series, and there you can see the figure's face. Got moustache. Looks pretty cool. Nice looking figure. Articulation's good on this figure. He's got ball jointed neck with the extra swivel there so he can bend up and down. It's got articulation in the shoulders, ball joint there, single ball joint, wrist movement and that pivot. The waist is pretty fixed though. It's got swivels in the upper thigh, ball joints in between at the hip, double jointed knees, rocker joint on the ankles. So it's got good articulation. The waist doesn't, let's see, I can't move it at all, it's really stiff. But figure looks pretty cool. I'm sure they'll bring different versions of this figure out. You can have this go all the way back, like that. Or you can have it up like that, or forward. Looks good like that. Looks very Halo-ish. Master Chief. And then you've got the sort of, puts me in mind of a sort of World War II American soldier, or maybe Vietnam. Looks pretty cool. Nice detailing on the helmet. Nice figure overall. Number 10, the Black Series, Resistance Trooper. This vehicle came in a pack and was sort of touted as being Force Awakens. It's like a shadow First Order Stormtrooper with red paint there, pistol, and a speeder bike, which is obviously covered in dust, sorry. But you could open this bit here to reveal the engine. I can do it one-handed. It's more or less a sort of speeder bike, turbocharged. Yeah, you can see the engine there. Breakaway feature. Hopefully it's a breakaway feature and I haven't broken it. And there's the figure. So, can't remember what this was called, but if you're around in those days, 10 years ago, you would have seen this in the shops, in the Force Awakens packaging. Couple of first order TIE fighters. You got the special, this is the 2-seat version that Finn and Poe escape in, and then this is the typical TIE fighter. So they got the, yeah, I think that's, does it say Hot Wheels, or it should say, obviously covered in dust. Dust adds character, really. But yeah, these are small, and yeah, I got the bigger TIE fighter. There was even a Black Series version for the 6-inch figures. That was huge. But I'm glad they kept the TIE fighter design pretty unchanged, really. It wasn't that much different. Same with the X-Wing, really. Couple more figures, 3.75 basic. You got Tasu Leech. One again that I found was a bit scarce, so in the UK. He comes with a sort of funny bone gun. I haven't got it with me exactly, so, but that's the Tasu Leech. And this is the Resistance Trooper, sort of. Yeah. Again, I'd say this one in the UK was pretty scarce. Got quite a conventional helmet design. Yeah. Bit like Endor Rebel Trooper, I guess. And Tasu Leech. Here's another line. I think this is something like Hasbro Fighter Pods or something. I can't remember what it's called. There's a tiny little Ray pilot there. He fits inside that ship. Comes out. Rubber it's made of. She can fit into that. So more Force Awaken stuff you could collect back in the day or soon after. This Admiral Akbar was a great figure from the time. So it's a character we had in the original trilogy, but this one had an opening mouth. Nice sculpting on the outfit. Came with a rifle, should have come with like a pointy stick or something, but still a great sculpt. Look at that head. It's a trap! It's a trap! It's a trap! Can only be penetrated by a shield generator. Great figure, that. Admiral Akbar. So he's one worth tracking down. Cool figure. This is gun. This is PZCO. You see him in the Force Awakens. He works for the Resistance. Quite a good figure. Nice design. Like I said before, it reminds me of Jacob Epstein's torso sculpture. That's what it's based on, I'm sure. Quite a good design, this. Yeah. And I was probably the first person on YouTube to get this in hand. The only time it's ever happened to me. Cool figure. Very tall, long-necked droid. Okay, here I've got the first order TIE Fighter pilot, the Force Awakens basic figure. and it was £5 at Sainsbury's. I got it because I've got the actual fighter and I need a second pilot, so I'm going to open this one up and put it inside the ship. But I'm just looking at the packaging, so nice artwork on the card, and there's the back of the card, TIE Fighter pilot, the other figures that it came with, and that's the piece it comes with, the combiner piece. Okay, so that's your first order TIE Fighter pilot. Let's get a quick look at I've shown this before, this is the Hot Wheels first order troop transport. Quite a good model. And then this is the Titanium Black Series number 14 first order transport. So you can see the differences between the two. This one's got landing skids, this one's plastic underneath, this one's die cast. This one's got a working front piece there, door, ramp. This one's a bit top heavy though, so it tends to lean forward, whereas this one is more balanced. You can see the detailing and the sculpting, both are great sculpts, both look really good. It's an excellent design really when you think about this. It just doesn't want to lean back. They look great together. In terms of sculpting detail, even though it's the same vessel, there are differences. Both are great. You can still pick this one up in the UK really cheap. You go to Home Bargains and get it in a 2-pack for £1.29. This one will be a bit more pricey now. Should still be able to pick it up for less than £5, even on eBay. But look great together. Really nice models. Okay, both are similar colour, so whichever one you prefer the design of, very similar. Hot Wheels is a bit bigger, but really good. Okay, cheers, bye. I mean, what you can see with this is there's going to be a lot of Star Wars product with the new film, just like episode 1, and once the hype's gone, a lot of this stuff will get reduced, and that's the time to buy. So you've got Star Wars Infinity, Battlefront there. That looks amazing, that game. Then you've got like dress up stuff, pyjamas and stuff, bags. More stuff you can buy, lava lamp, or battle light. These little scooter things, £200 for the Stormtrooper electronic, and £20 just for, I've got that Darth Vader clock, that's 20 quid. You've also got interactive figures. This stuff's more aimed at adults. Revel, Millennium Falcon, I want to get that one day. 34 quid, still a bit steep if you ask me. But you've got a few bits and bobs here that you might appeal to the older collection Star Wars watch. Then you've got the last page is this sort of stuff. Over 70 more Star Wars products are available online. Perhaps not the most popular character, but this is Maz Kanata. She was a sort of, I guess she's symptomatic of our times. You wouldn't want to meet her on a dark street. Got nice eye effects with those lenses and the sort of goggles. I mean, it's quite a colourful figure, nicely sculpted, but quite an annoying character in a way. And then there's the BB-8, so his head moves. You can pivot it back and forth and all that sort of stuff. Another BB-8, same figure though, and the base is flat. And this is the chest that comes with Maz Kanata, and there should be the lightsaber in there. Yep. So she came in a figure pack. think with Ray and a few others, maybe Finn as well. We're more or less at journey's end, really. We've looked at quite a lot of Force Awakens stuff and tried to show you how excited we were for all the stuff back in the day. Obviously, a lot of the stuff is sort of not quite popular anymore, you know. Sort of a lot of this stuff ended up in the Entertainer on the as peg warming toys for a long time. Not all characters, certain figures. I mean, these ones are very cool, the aliens. They're just really nice. So okay, I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube where people that review movies and consider themselves movie experts are really sort of saying that after 10 years, you know, The Force Awakens hasn't really aged well, or, you know, hasn't really, you know, they feel like it was a bit of a con job, really. It was sort of promised so much. I mean, it wasn't really The Force Awakens. It's like the next episode really threw a spanner into the works and sort of upset the apple cart in a way. And so, you know, that's what happened, unfortunately. I mean, it's just that Disney Star Wars has been so badly managed by the likes of, you know, who and so on. It's just, you know, go woke, go broke, unfortunately, and that's what's happened. And Star Wars, which should be, you know, a really top brand because of how big the fandom is, has really sort of taken a massive nosedive. So yeah, visionary director J.J. Abrams, Italian copy here. So yeah, Force Awakens. But I mean, the movie's not perfect, but you know, you can watch it once every 5 years or so, and you can also, I mean, reminisce about before we saw the movie, how much fun it was to collect all the figures and stuff like that. Anyway, I've waffled too much. This video's gonna be really long, and I've got to edit it still. Anyway, cheers, goodbye.